real estate and lifestyle meet. It's not about where you came from, it's about where you are going. Everybody has a journey or a story about life. We can help each other push through these obstacles by sharing the process, stories, and walks of life. Some of us have role models, some of us don't. This is my journey with no role models. What's up, everyone? This is Robert Colangeli with No Role Models podcast with my co-host Aaron
Yes,
Gamboa.
sir. Let's go.
So our guest that we have today is Tony the Conqueror. He's been fighting since age 10. Now he's 22. Grew up in the Harbor area. Now lives currently in Corona. Give us a little introduction about yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional MMA fighter, 2-0 as a pro, 8-0 as an amateur. I've got 9 finishes, the fastest knockout in California. I got 4 California state titles, 5 Spar Star titles. I won Worlds when I was 18 years old, and I won Nationals when I was 16. So been fighting for a while.
This dude is a beast. When I tell you he's a beast, he's a beast. I had the pleasure of meeting him in the sauna. And, well, before that, we had a connection before that. But, man, even friends from Corona would talk about him, and they would say, like, he's a beast. And I followed his Instagram, and I would see, like, damn, like, he's dope. Like, he's actually really good. So then I finally got the pleasure to meet you at the gym, and you were super cool, super humble. We connected on Instagram, and, you know, it's a pleasure to finally get to know you and have you here.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, for real.
No, for sure.
Thanks for coming out and taking your time. Definitely, I know things get crazy. Work, training. I'm sure you train pretty often, so I want to just say thanks for coming out and supporting us.
Thank you guys for allowing me to promote myself.
Definitely. This is a platform made for all of us. It's not just me and Aaron. It's for everybody that comes on here to create like awareness about things that happen. Sometimes we don't think we can reach out to people and talk about things, and I think a lot of the things we talk about here are like that. Like conversations that you should be having with your friends, but sometimes it depends on the relationship. You might not think you can have that conversation with them, but here we'll just lay it out all on the table and talk about life, business, training, everything.
Oh yeah.
So how would you describe your childhood in 3 words or sentences?
Difficult, angry, and probably lastly, lessons. A lot of lessons.
So you said you came from the Harbor area, right?
Yeah.
How was it growing up, like, in that area?
It was tough, my dad, he's a gangster, so I saw a lot of shit as a child, but my mom, she tried to keep me away from certain things, but the area that I lived in, I lived in Wilmington, I lived in South Central. There was a lot of bad people around me that were fucking trying to, like, steal me or rape me and shit. Like, I lived next to a halfway house. It was bad growing up, but we ended up moving out of there, moving to Corona, and our grandparents helped us out a lot, so my mom was able to put me into the gym when I was 10 to pretty much keep me out of trouble. And then that's when I started training when I was 10 years old. I got in a lot of fights growing up, too, because my dad, well, even when I was, 5, 6 years old, my dad would, tell me to beat up my neighbors and shit.
Yeah.
And then that's how we bonded, was through fighting and like that.
Yeah.
The first word you said was hard, right? So describe some, hard things or difficult things that you dealt with when you growing up.
Just fucking regular shit, like my dad in and out of prison, my mom kind of going through the stuff that she was going through because she had me when she was 18. So I was kind of pretty much on my own, just me and my sister. And I was the oldest, so I kind of had to learn on my own and deal with things by myself. and that turned into a lot of anger, which pretty much made me a good fighter. So it's not. It ended up being a
Good thing.
to my benefit, and I think that's what's the good thing about my mentality is I could turn a negative into a positive, and bottle up all that darkness and use it to bring more light into the world because I want to help people, and inspire them to do the same with, like you're giving things in life, and then you could use it. You could use it to destroy your life, or you could use it to make your life better. Like fire. Like Mike Tyson said, you could use it to cook, or you could use it to fucking burn your house down. So it's up to you to make that choice.
That's true. That's we actually share some very similar traits. My dad, same thing, got in a lot of trouble. Did 3 strikes. He passed in there, and only like the few people know that are close to me that I shared it with know, but that's a lot of other similarities too. But definitely, it's tough, and we are kind of similar in that case because a lot of shit was thrown at me too, and I didn't know what to do. But then I started kind of reading and then getting somewhat of education outside of school, and then starting to learn from other people. And then I did the same thing, like, okay, I want to focus on doing something big and growing like my career or becoming a business owner, whatever it was. And I think that's like a part trait of someone great that can get that, put it together, and just say fuck it, and just work on yourself, work on whatever you need to do to make it happen.
Yup.
And I have a lot of respect for you, bro, because growing up as kids and going through things like that is tough, and sometimes you want to run to your parents, and then it's them, and then you're like, where do I go?
Yeah.
And also, my grandma, I was kind of raised by my grandma and grandpa, and they were always, that's where we always go to. Something happened with our parents, we'd go back to grandma's house.
Yeah.
Back to grandma's house. Like, that was the safe house, which is, and she was never like, oh, you can't come. She would, come over here. This is where you'll go. Very supportive. And I think I picked up a lot of her good traits were like waking up at 5 a.m. to go to the fucking swap meet, to go sell clothes and use shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, like, what am I doing here,
Yeah.
What is this going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's making like $2 here, $3 here. Oh, I made $150. Like, what the hell did you sell? But she had so much shit. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's go get ice cream. That was like the reward. Like, oh, let's go get ice cream at was it Rite Aid back then? Or Thrifties?
Thrifties.
You weren't born yet. You guys weren't born. Yeah,
I've been to Thrifties.
Yeah.
We had Thrifties in Corona, right?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So we used to go there. That was like the reward, and yeah, what you go through when you're a child, it has a big impact on your life, and you can either cook with it or burn your shit down, like you said. And what about you, Aaron? You have any questions?
No, I feel like you really used that anger and turned it into fire. I feel like that's a power not everybody has. Like, some people are just mad at themselves till they're 40, 50 years old and just don't turn it into anything. Like, to recognize that from being young, especially you, Robert, even myself sometimes. I didn't go through too many things that were hard, but anytime I got angry, I would be angry for 5-10 minutes, and I would be like, okay, like, how am I going to grow from it? So you use that to grow from that, and I respect that a lot. It's something that not everybody has.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I respect you a lot too, because there's not a lot of like Latinos that grew up here that you could really look up to and like model your life after, and it's gonna end up good. Like, it's kind of like you're either a cholo or you're something else.
Yeah.
Or you're just a regular guy, or you work construction or some shit, which is cool. They make money, but I mean, like, we need businessmen. We need some millionaires up there and be like, lay the blueprint out for the rest of us. Really follow that shit, make some money, change our lives.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. But yeah, I've only gone to where I've gone because of other people and sharing what they've been through, because you might think like, for a while I was like in a deep depression. I drank a lot. I would drink probably like 6 days a week. I was going out like 6 days a week at least. and I was just like in a bad place. I was making money, but kind of like going back to that, like, oh, you're Latino, you're making $100,000. Oh, like you kind of feel like you're God.
Yeah.
At first, and that's how I felt, bro. I was like, oh no, nothing can stop me. I'm making $100,000 a year and blah blah blah. And then it caught up to me pretty quick, going out a lot, doing the same shit, just wasting money, blowing money, and it didn't get me nowhere. And then I just kept going back to the place of feeling sorry for myself. And I always felt like, why couldn't I have a perfect family? Why did I get shorted in that way? And then I would drink all weekend or all week, and then Sunday comes around and I'm still drinking. Then I'm hungover Monday, and I couldn't deal with my emotions. So I would just get like in a depression, start crying, and I couldn't deal with it. So I just decided I'm gonna stop drinking.
Yeah.
Because that was it had me stuck.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Check this shit off.
Getting hot?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that because I was a drug addict for like fucking 2 years. Pretty bad. I was on fentanyl. Our whole city was pretty much flooded with fentanyl.
No.
So I stopped training. I started hanging around in the streets, trying to fucking, I was trying to be Scarface and shit. I thought I was all cool. But nah, that's not the life, like that shit. Fuck no.
That's like the what do they call it, like fast life. Like it's good for a little while, and then either end you're on, either using or selling, it catches up to you.
Hell yeah.
And I dealt with that young too with my family, but it's crazy you say that too. My best friend that passed at the beginning of the year it was because of the fentanyl.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, no thanks, man. But I tried everything I could to get him out of that place. I gave him a job. I did everything I could, and at the end, he was like my brother, and he was gone for a while. He got in a lot of trouble. He was gone. He came back. He did his thing for a few years, and then he came to me when he wanted to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't know how deep it was. I thought I was just drinking, and I just said, just stay away from drinking. No one ever knew the extent to it, and by the time we found out, it was too late.
Damn.
But that's why we have this podcast, because of that. Because I guess he felt like he couldn't tell me, and I don't ever want any of my friends that think that, like, oh, you're because you do this, you're out of my life, or I'm here to help anybody that's my friend or surrounds themselves with me to become better, greater, and do good things. But definitely, I commend you too, bro, because when you get into that stuff, like, it's hard to get out, and you're young. You're usually younger. Like me, when I was younger, I used to drink a lot. I had an addictive personality, and that's all I want to do. Okay, let's just go get drunk. Let's go drink. So I'm sure you've had your days too. I still do. Not with drinking really. I'm kind of like over it because I have like 9 lives drinking. But I'm older now, so I probably got 1 life left if I'm lucky.
Yeah, my shit's drinking right now. I won't do drugs. I won't never do pills again.
Yeah.
I love myself too much, but drinking is so normal. It's like you think like, oh, it's not that bad. Everybody does it. Yeah. But like the times that I have got drunk as fuck, I've gotten so lucky because I could have ruined my life like in those times. So I know that's not for me, and like I keep getting chances, and I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta get out of it right at the right time before it's too late.
Yeah.
What do you feel is worse, like drugs or drinking?
Drugs.
For sure.
Hell yeah. People just die. Drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, drinking too, but I mean, it takes a while.
Yeah.
You gotta drink a lot.
That's true.
Years. My dad passed of he has cirrhosis of the liver.
Oh fuck. Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, that was a long time for drinking. Years.
He was what? He was drinking in prison. What?
No. He already had it. The last time he got picked up, he had it. He was And that back then they had no cure for cirrhosis. It was just like your legs would get swollen,
Wow.
like crazy swollen, bro. Like you would look like you're like a thick chick or something.
Damn.
Have really, really like swollen legs, and he was skinny. He was way skinnier than me, so you could tell. And he would just take like different pills, but nothing would work. They had like absolutely no cure for it. So then by the time he went back the last time, it was he lasted like 3 years, and then he called me to go see him, and that was it. Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy.
Sorry about that.
No, bro, it's something that happened in my life, but it's something that, like you said, you got to get everything together that didn't work out your way or didn't happen the way you wanted to, and just use it as motivation and just try to get better, try to work harder.
Yup.
What would you say are pivotal moments in your upbringing that shaped who you are today?
Pivotal moments. When I was ranked number 6 in state in wrestling, and I got injured my last year wrestling, and I kind of like after that I kind of like threw my life away. That's when I started I was like, man, fuck everybody. I want to just run amok. And then I started getting into trouble.
Were you in high school?
Yeah. I started stealing. I was fucking doing the dumbest shit ever. And then I got into drugs. And then a lot of things happened when I was on drugs that kind of like changed me mentally that I saw, And then I got off of drugs, which was the hardest fucking thing ever, because I had to go to Peru to do ayahuasca. So I went to Peru. I was there for fucking 2 weeks. I did ayahuasca, and I saw the worst things about myself ever. It's the fucking hardest thing ever because you're so uncomfortable. You're like, that's me? Like, that's the kind of person that I am? And then you just throw it up. Like, you just purge it out. And you're just throwing up, like, black stuff. And it's so tough. It's fucking hard. Like, you see all your traumas. You see everything that you've been through, everything that you've done, like, all types of shit. And then you got to, fucking purge it out of your body. And then I just changed mentally. I went from having, like, a bitch-ass mindset to, like, becoming a winner. And then after that, that's when I changed everything. 2-3 months later after I had that, I won my first title. And then I fucking every 2 months, every 3 months, I was winning title after title after title. And then now I'm here living my dream as a professional fighter. And, like, I have, like, a mindset where I just can't be stopped. Like, there's been times where I've lost in the gym to certain people, like 2 years ago, right? And I never forgot that day. And now, 2 years later, I'm beating these people. So I never lost because I may have lost that battle, but I won the war because I never quit. And I come back, and I don't stop fucking coming back until I win. And you have to fucking kill me in order for you to stop me. And I ain't dying no time soon, so.
Yeah.
Too young, bro.
Too young.
Yep.
No, that's what Nipsey Hussle said. It's either you're at war with yourself and at peace with the world, or at war with the world and at peace with yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like you need that mindset for fighting, though. Fighting's mindset, too, though, isn't it? It's not just skill. Like, you need that to be in the right state of mind to be out there, training. Because if you go out there and train and there's too much, your head is just clouded, like, you're not in the game, right? Like,
yeah. And I love fucking with people mentally. I love that shit. I'm like, let me see what kind of man this person is in front of me. Let me see what I could do to him.
So you got to kind of break them down mentally and physically, right?
Everywhere. I just break their whole spirit. There's a guy who I knocked out in 6 seconds. He's like dead now. Like, he doesn't fight anymore. He doesn't train anymore. He's quit.
So you said that was a record you set for the fastest knockout in the world or California?
California. I mean, Jorge Masvidal has a faster knockout. His was like 5 seconds. So
you ever seen that one in the UFC? When he kneed him, like, right on the edge, and then he just hammer fisted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, That one was crazy.
I mean, the ref was fat. He took long, so I mean, it was really like
It's
4
probably 4.
seconds. Took too long.
Nah, 6 seconds is crazy because he was saying some crazy stuff to you. I remember you were telling me that he wanted to eat off your belt and all that. I'm sure he used that as fuel. Like he tried to intimidate you, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
You kind of had him locked in already.
I was like, oh, you want to eat off my belt? Okay, we'll see. Another pivotal moment is when my brother passed away from fentanyl. It was like a month and a half before my biggest fight at the time. It was my biggest fight. And I had like a bunch of shit going through my head. Like my brother just passed away. Everybody's sad. I have a month before my fight. I can't eat. I gotta cut weight. I can't do anything. I can't cry. I don't have time for none of that. I gotta train. So the day my brother passed away, I ran 5 miles. All I wanted to do was be at home and fucking cry and lay in my bed. Say, I don't want to fight no more, you know? Like, give me some time. I need time to heal. Like, no, like, yeah, like, you need time to heal. And I had certain times where I broke down mentally. But every day I would get up and I would go to training. And I had to do what I had to do. And that's what made me who I am now. Because I told myself, I'm going to knock this fool out in less than 10 seconds. And I would say it to myself every single day. I will knock Galdino Ibarra out in 10 seconds. I didn't tell anybody. I just say it to myself. I pray. And I feel like I already did it. And I went out there and I fucking starched him. And then I cried for my brother. And then I went on the mic and I told everybody, like, don't choose drugs, you know. Choose God. Choose to love yourself. Don't live that life. Because I lived that life, and I know that it's not going to get you anywhere that you want to be. So that was, like, when I realized who I was. And I know that, like, nothing, because my brother was everything to me. That was my best friend since I was a baby. Nothing can break me down. You know what I mean? Like, I lost the closest person to me. And, like, yeah, my mom and everybody, but, you know, your parents are supposed to die before you. Obviously not, like, in a bad way, but I'm ready for that because I know that the only thing that's guaranteed in life is death.
100%.
So I embrace it.
So definitely you got some good discipline to be able to work through things like that. And I have definitely a lot of respect for it because it is a luxury to take time off and to just not do nothing. That's like you taking advantage of a luxury, but for you to go in and do the work when there's no performance, there's no match, there's nothing yet, but you're preparing for that. And that's where like champions are made.
Yeah.
In the gym. Not the 5 seconds or 6 seconds when you knock them out, not the 4 rounds or 3 rounds that you beat the other guys or however long it took. Not that. It's that time when you're getting up, running your 5 miles when you didn't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, not you didn't want to, but you didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
And I think that's another big trait to like a champion is doing the things you don't want to do when you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously at that time you had to do it to align with what you wanted to accomplish, which was to knock him out in the fastest time in California.
Yep.
What advice would you give your younger self knowing what you know now?
What advice? I don't know. I think I pretty much got it. Like, there's nothing that I would change in my life. Maybe I would just tell my younger self, like, don't fucking do drugs, because it's just slowed me down. Yeah. I could be so much further in my career right now if I didn't put 2 years into nothing. And, I got to deal with that now because I feel a certain way about myself when it comes to fighting, and people just don't know it yet because I'm not where I want to be. But I know that I can beat these guys. Like, I know, but people don't know. And that's what I want to show everybody, that, like, I will smoke these fools.
So that's why now you got a platform to show everybody.
Yeah, for real.
Serious.
I'm telling everybody right now, I'm never going to lose. And I'm going to smoke everybody.
Undefeated.
Undefeated forever.
So yeah, platform here, platform there, and especially for your message too. When you have when you have a chance to speak, you can influence a lot of people. A lot of
Yeah.
people, kids, everybody, every age. You never know what someone's going through.
And like the stuff that you get from fighting is cool, you know, you get money and shit. That's amazing, you know? But this kid actually sent me a voice message of him saying that I helped him overcome some things and he started fighting and he won his fight. And then I replied to him and he started crying. And that was like that gave me a real feeling inside. Like the money, yeah, I fucking oh cool, I got some money, you know, a new car. But helping somebody be better, it makes me like want to do more and want to prove more to everybody and just fuck shit up and like tell them like if I could do it, you could fucking do it too. Like let's go.
Yeah, that's part of what you're doing. You're influencing people at the same time to accomplish their dreams. You might not. It's different. Everybody might not think like I'm trying to influence the next person, but you working hard and getting shit done, it's gonna influence almost anybody. And they don't even have to just be a fighter.
Yeah.
It can be anybody going through tons of shit, and that's definitely something great within you to accomplish these things.
It almost gives you like a purpose, you know. Now you know people are watching you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like now you know you got to be like that influence. Like everything you do, everything you post, like people are watching.
Yeah.
People are watching your fight videos. People are watching you, with your mindset stuff. Like now you know you got to be like an influence to them. And as you keep growing, you're gonna have more and more people watching you.
Yeah.
And it's I feel like that's pretty like accomplishing to know that people are watching you too. It gives you that purpose, to keep going even more, right?
Yup. I used to always walk out with fucking ski mask, and a bunch of little kids would be wearing ski masks and shit. I'm like, no, don't do that part.
Didn't you pull up to one of your interviews like in the ski mask too?
Yeah. But I have this one kid. He really like looks up to me, and I realize that like my success is other people's success, and that shit like I'm like damn, like there's the little things that I do where I'm like I'm fucking up, and I know I am like texting and driving. Like what if I get in a car accident and I fucking die or some shit? Like people are gonna be affected by that. And I'm trying my best, and I know what my weaknesses are, and I'm like, fucking, I need to change that, and that's like my carelessness. So I think just because I'm young, and like kind of like, I feel like I'm invincible, but I know I'm not.
That's good that Aaron brought up about purpose, because like how you have a story, same thing. Like sometimes we do real estate. We go through things and we make content. We try to influence people, and then sometimes we feel like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not reaching nobody. And then I think I always get like a little reminder, like every few months, like okay, like we went to a party this weekend, and one of my friends is like, it was like 4 a.m. I don't drink, but they were drinking. I brought them to their house. They lived down the street from me, and he was almost like crying. He's like, bro, you like influence me. Like you really motivate me. I tell my son about you. I tell my workers about you. You came from nothing. Like you're different than me. Like you had to work for everything. My parents, had a lot of stuff together for me, but you did everything yourself with my partner.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was almost crying, and I was like, oh shit, like I guess this is my reminder again. Like every quarter, a couple of months, like. You're doing something right. Just keep working.
How does that make you feel though?
It makes me feel like I have a purpose, like how Aaron said.
Oh hell yeah!
I was trying to figure out like what I was trying to get around to tell you, but yeah, it's like sometimes we get any sport or any profession. At some point, you kind of you deal with things that make you doubt yourself, and I think with real estate, there's shit happening all the time, and you just never know. Every deal is different, and then you try to help people, like Aaron, everybody else that works with me, and you try to bring them in to make some deals and make some money. And then some people, they don't last. They go here, they leave to another company. It's like it's part of the business. I understand it, but sometimes you just need the reminder, just like you. you know, with the ski mask. That if I know it's not like the best with because they might think they're robbing something, but still they're not doing it because of that. They're doing it because of you.
Yeah, and it's cool too because I wear it because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna steal the show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I bring that like gangster energy
Yeah.
to the fight game where I be flipping them off. I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker, you know, like because it's real.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, you're so disrespectful to your opponents. This fool's trying to knock me out on TV in front of my mom and my whole family, and this just gonna be there forever. And you want me to be nice to him? Like, what the fuck? Like, oh yeah, let me shake your hand and tell you I love you and shit. Or no, like, no, I want to kill you on TV because you want to do the same thing to me.
Yeah.
And then after I'm like, if they want to be cool, then I'll be cool too. But if they don't, then it is what it is. Like, after I knocked out the last guy, I'm like, keep going, bro. Don't quit. Like, this is just a bump in the road for you. Everybody has their own story. Keep going. And then his coach is like, we're going to report you to the fucking commission because you flipped them off. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'm just going to fucking bounce out now because you're about to make me beat you up, too. I beat you up and your fucking fighter up in one night.
Yeah. So people are just too soft. They can't take it, you know?
Yeah.
It's sports.
This last guy I was supposed to fight is Japanese, and I told him, oh, I'm gonna fucking turn you into a sushi roll. And they're like, oh, that's racist. I was like, I love sushi. I have a Korean, or no, he's Korean. That's different. Dang. Wait, edit that part out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
You didn't mean it like that.
It's not like, it's like if you take it so personal, like that's on you. You know, like stoicism, you have the choice to fucking be offended or not.
Yeah.
If you give somebody the power over you, then that's your fault. Fuck.
What do most people misunderstand about you the most?
I think people think that I'm genuinely like really mean, but I feel like I'm not. I think I'm actually like, I have a really big heart and I really want to help people, but I do it in a passionate way where I say mean things to my opposition. But when it comes to like people that are close to me, I'm pretty fucking nice, a little bit too nice sometimes where, you know, I got to create boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Even when I like met you the first time at the party, like my first impression of you is you're trying to beat one of my friends up, you know?
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, that was him. But you were doing it obviously for like a reason, backing your friend up. But like that was the impression I had until I met you, like really at the gym, and you were as cool as can be. And I already followed you on Instagram just because I liked your work and your skills. And then we had cleared up the whole situation anyway. But yeah, even my first impression of you was like, man, he's kind of an asshole. Trying to beat one of my homies up. But yeah, then after when I met you, like you were as humble as can be. Follow each other on Instagram, we would connect through there, and like, you know, some people even get the wrong impression sometimes. Sometimes the first impression's not really right. And I think you were like, is that the time when you were like kind of drinking on like
that's the time I was pretty bad.
Okay. So like that wasn't you yet. When I met like the you now, like is the person that like that's cool that I like to connect with, you know?
Yeah, the person that learned from all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
It's different.
Yeah.
What has been the most challenging period of your life so far, and how did you navigate through it?
Oh, my last fight, I was cutting weight, and I had to cut 15 pounds in like 8 or 9 hours, right? So I'm like cutting weight, and I'm in the bath, and they put the bath at like 110 degrees, but we didn't have a thermometer, so we didn't know how hot the water was.
Probably hotter.
Probably hotter. And I did probably 4 sessions, and I get out, and I'm like almost dying. Cause I get out, I start spinning out, and I lay down, and then I'm like I start like dry heaving, where I'm just like, and I'm throwing up, but then I have nothing to throw up, and I had to walk all the way downstairs and make weight, and that shit was fucking super hard. That was my hardest weight cut ever, but I destroyed, like, I had it down to a T until I started eating some cheese balls right before I started cutting weight. So I had a bunch of salt in me that retained the water. And if I miss weight, the guy could say I don't want to fight, or they could take away my money. They would take away my money. So then I just kept going, and like I thought I was gonna die. I really thought I was gonna die. My eyes were sucked in, my cheeks were like all the way sucked in. I couldn't walk. They had to carry me to weigh in, and it was just terrible. That was so hard, bro. I had to really dig deep to make weight that one time.
Why'd you have to cut so like soon? Like why like where did that come from? Like 15 pounds in 9 hours. Like
cause I was actually 10 pounds over the week, and then 10 pounds is pretty easy. And then I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. So I ate a lot, and then I retained all the water, and I couldn't like lose the weight. So I had to cut all that weight in one night. And my opponent was right there too, like watching me cut weight, and he kept like giving me thumbs up and shit. And he's like going like that, and I'm like, fuck you. I'm all mad. It was hard. It was super hard. It was really hard. But that shit was probably like the toughest thing that I've ever had to do.
Crazy. That's a lot of. You said in 9 hours, or how many hours?
Yeah, like 9 hours.
15 pounds? Damn.
Wow. And you made it, right?
Well, it's like people do that a lot, but I couldn't fucking lose the weight because I ate a lot of salt. So it was just holding on to the water. So I had to keep getting back into the fucking water, keep getting back in the water, and like just laying there. And then I was listening to like rap music, and that shit was pissing me off because he kept saying, I could hear the Perkies calling, the Future song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, man, change the fucking song. I was just so mad. It was so bad.
Oh, man.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory, I would say it was my first fight. Actually, when I told my mom I was going to fight for the first time, like a real MMA fight.
How old were you?
I was 10.
Shit.
I signed myself up. I signed my mom's name like her, like if I forged it. And then I told her, they charged her $30. And then I told her, because she had her card on the gym.
Oh, yeah.
So I signed it, and then I forged it, and then I put that I was going to fight. And then I told her, I was like, oh, I'm going to fight in a week. And I had only been training for a week. So she got all scared, and she's like, you're going to get beat up.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah. She's like, if you lose, I'm going to fuck you up. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to win. And then I went out there, and I choked them out in like 30 seconds. Yeah. And they gave me a medal and shit. I fought in my socks and basketball shorts. Like, I didn't know what to wear or nothing. And I still won. So that was like when I knew like I wanted to be a fighter for sure. I was like, oh, this is for me for sure. Because that kid had been training for a cool minute. And I still beat him.
Yeah.
The Nike shorts and the long white socks, no?
Bro, I had my grandpa's socks on.
With the Lions, no?
They were Hanes socks.
Oh.
You have black Air Forces too?
Nah, I used to.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
If I could be remembered for one thing, what would it be? Fighting for my people, and really like being like a light for people, and like never switching up and like fucking switching up for some money and shit. Like being real to the grave, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like on some Nipsey shit, like fucking, like really like motivating and inspiring people, and not switching up for no money or nothing, and really sticking to my morals and my beliefs. And shit, I want to go out like that. I wouldn't mind dying at a young age. That should be cool. I don't want to get old.
Man.
Yeah, same thing. How old was Nipsey Hussle?
He was in his 30s.
Young.
Yeah, he was young.
But even Snoop Dogg said that he was something different, that he was gonna change a lot of things, and he was into real estate, he was into making businesses, making money. I'm sure he hustled too, but I think at the end he had a plan of getting out and being a businessman.
Yup.
Yeah.
Which I grew up in the hood of Whittier, and back then when I grew up, it was pretty bad, and everybody we looked up, or not looked up to, but everybody was making money. They're all slaying.
Yeah.
They're always new cars. You kind of knew. Always had money. Always had nice things, and then that was like, I guess in a sense a role model, but that was what we saw, and that was what was there. But like I said, he was doing different things and trying to get out the game, like someone like 50 Cent. 50 Cent used to be a hustler too, but
50 Cent's a shit.
Yeah, making movies, making everything.
That was tight.
On our first podcast, we had a whole segment just on 50 Cent, just 10 minutes, just because of how powerful he is, from drug dealer to rapper to producer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's powerful.
That's how I'm trying to be too. Trying to like dibble dabble in here and there, learn new things.
Yeah.
Try to fucking
get some real estate right here.
No, I told him that's the plan. When I started getting that, that's what I'm trying to get into. I want like fucking passive income. I need money forever, not just for here, for right now.
Yeah, that's I think a lot of people get stuck in between because you start getting money, and then it seems so good, and it seems like it's never going to end, and then never make that jump to a business. Because it seems so great, like it's never gonna stop, and then you get busted, or something happens, someone gets blasted, something. There's always that's what I noticed about like the game. It's like it never ends well.
It's retarded.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like I heard Andrew Tate say this. Maybe you get 100,000 right from slinging, but you might get 100 years. Yeah. So it's like $100,000.
Not worth it
for 100 years of your life. Like, no, it's not worth it at all.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's people that want to kill you. You're worried about cops. You're worried about if they're gonna rob you. You're worried about this and that, right? You're never fucking sleeping good. Yeah. And then when you get that little bit of money, it feels good. Then you waste it all on stupid shit. And then, like, now what? Now you're trying to chase that shit again, that little high, when you get that stack. And then it's just fucking retarded. It's like the dumbest investment you could ever make. Like, let me be a drug dealer. Okay, what do you get out of it? Maybe I'll make 100,000, but maybe I'll get 10 years in prison.
And I sleep peacefully knowing the feds are not gonna knock on my door.
Yeah, for real, bro. Like, fuck that. Like, oh my god, that shit's scary.
It is
scary as fuck.
It could change your whole life, literally, in seconds.
And it's crazy. Like, I used to look up to that. Like, people say, like, oh, I did 10 years. I did this. I did that. I'm a 2-time felon. I got 2 strikes. And I used to think that shit's hard, Like, I used to want to go to jail. I used to, like, I was like, I don't want to get caught, but I'm going to do things to put me there. So then one day, like, I could be like, oh, I went to jail. I did this and I did that. I'm like, that shit's fucking dumb. Yeah. Luckily, I never did none of that. So never went to jail, nothing. Luckily, but one of my friends got life in prison for certain things, and like, fuck that, That's fucked up.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Greece. I for sure live in Greece, like on the water.
Like Santorini or Athens?
Mm-hmm. They have like those little houses, like where they have the bridge and it's on the
like
on
all
the
white.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
I would live right there.
It looked like kind of caves, kind of, right? Like
yeah.
On the side of that. That's pretty dope.
That's sick.
I want to like disappear one day and just live like a different life.
When you retire, bro, you can do anything.
When you're 30 and 0 or 40 and 0, you can take yourself to Greece.
That's actually my goal. Like, my dream is to be 30 and 0.
Why 30?
I don't know. It's always just been like a lucky number for me. I was born on the 3rd.
You were?
Yeah.
What day? I mean, what
September.
month? I'm August 3rd.
August 3rd?
Yeah.
You're a Leo?
Yeah.
That's right.
You too?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, same day. My dad was October 20th and my mom's October 3rd.
Hell yeah.
Leave me out November 25th. Sagittarius.
Sagittarius?
Yeah.
means you crazy, bro.
Nah, it means we have deep thoughts like that we don't say sometimes, and like sometimes I read those horoscopes and they're accurate. It's scary how accurate it is sometimes,
for
right?
real.
My girlfriend tells me all the time. She'll be like, you know, there's Sagittarius, you're this today. I'm like, wow, like that's accurate. Like it's scary to be honest. But
It is. I like it though. I think it's actually pretty interesting. That people be like, "Oh, you're gay," because I'll be reading that shit. I'm like, man, this shit, like, you know that kings used to use astrologers to figure out how they could win wars, and actually a bunch of presidents had astrologers that would work for them, because they're like into like numerology, astrology, all types of things like that. Like I'm into numerology too, and like I think it's interesting.
it is.
That was before the Christians came and conquered. That was what people would use, like the Mayans and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They would use all that stuff, but then like they kind of like tried to wipe it out of existence.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to someone starting out in your career?
In my career,
Yeah.
what would be one piece of advice? I would say train 3 times a day. Try to train as much as you can. Drink a lot of water. Take care of your body. Focus a lot on recovery. Eat the right foods. Read the right books. Take care of your mental health. Try to be strong mentally. Focus on your conditioning. Focus on your strength. What else would I say? Let go of distractions. Don't party. Don't. People are gonna try to come and try to act like they're your friends, give you free shit because you're winning, but in the end, they're just hating on you, and it's sad. Take care of your family, and don't focus on the material aspect. Be grateful for your breath. Be grateful to wake up in the morning, to be able to see, hear, feel, touch, punch, and kick. Be grateful for shit like that.
How old are you?
22.
Shit, bro.
He's a badass mindset for being 22.
Yeah, I would have never expected that from like someone younger, but I'm sure it's because you've probably been through a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah. It's God, bro. It's not me. It's God at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good mindset, because mindset is it'll either make you or break you. You'll be able to accomplish anything or nothing. And if your mind ain't right, which you know about that already, you can't do nothing.
Yeah. Like if your mind, if your heart, your spirit, and your body are all aligned on the same wavelength and they're going the same way, you'll be unstoppable. Because you're like, if you think you could do something, you can do it. But if you have any sort of doubt, then you can't, because you're doubting yourself and you're putting that energy out into the world. So whenever I have like a negative thought, I beat it with 2 positive thoughts, so that I'm always winning with my positive side. Because everybody's negative, everybody has negative, everybody has positive, light and darkness. And it's which one do you choose to follow more? Like there's 2 dogs inside of you. There's a fucking mad evil dog, and then there's a good dog. And you got to feed both of them, because you can't have one without the other. You can't live without one another. So you got to feed them both the same. And whichever one you're going to feed is going to take over your life. So you got to realize who you're feeding, you know? Like if you're feeding yourself negative things constantly every day, you're going to be a negative person. But you kind of need a little bit of negativity to have positivity, because they don't exist without one another.
Yeah, I believe in that too, because you sometimes hear negative stuff, and then it just depends on the person you are. It might set you back, or with me, what I try to do is like, okay, this is how I'm going to come back and change that. Like if it's a weakness about myself, then I'll start thinking of, okay, I have to change this part to become better next time, so then this isn't said.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and that's just, working through it, rather than the other mentality of like, you know what, I'm just going to take off and go home and just drink, or, do drugs or whatever. That's you learned it at a very young age, which is great. So I have friends that are still dealing with it, and they're my age, like 39, 40 years old, and still fucking around, messing around, getting into trouble, and it's like, what needs to happen to make a change? And it seems like it happened with you, and you're doing great now.
Thank you.
Yeah. About what you were saying right now too, like with the dogs, like the negative dogs and the good dogs, like there's another thing too, like the people you surround yourself with, the people you're around, they might be the people who are the negative dogs to you, who might feed that negative to you. Do you have like a good way of telling people apart, like when you meet someone or when you get to know them? Like you said right now, something about like they're just here to give you free shit and just whatever, just come into your life for their own benefit. Do you have like a good way of like telling people apart? Like, like I don't want to be around this person.
Before, no, because I had a lot of empathy for people, and like I learned that you can't have empathy for people that do it to themselves. So before I wouldn't pay attention to the negative in people, and it backfired, and I had to deal with certain things that I'm currently dealing with now. That kind of like, it's like, why did I do that to myself? Because I wasn't really loving myself. I was trying to be a nice person to the wrong people instead of taking care of the people that are already in my life that already support me. So like, no, before no, but I think now I'm starting to be able to discern certain aspects of people or like traits where I'm like, I don't like that, I like that, I don't like that. All right, I can't fuck with you. I could fuck with you. I think.
Yeah.
Kind of like that,
Got you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Who has been your most important professional mentor?
My coach Joe Daddy Stevenson. He went through a lot, bro. He used to be a bad drinker. He fought for the world title against BJ Penn. He lost everything that he had, but he's like a fucking like old like mentor. Like he knows what it's like to lose everything, and at the same time he's a great coach, and he's just a great human being now because life really humbled him. So my coach Joe Stevenson has been like a father to me, A
father figure, a mentor that you needed help with to push you forward.
Yeah, he's just real, like if he gives me credit when credit's due, but if I'm fucking up, he's the first person to tell me like, hey, you're being an ugly person right now. Like you said you were going to do this and you're not doing it. So you need to check yourself. So he's been like, he's just a real dude. He doesn't care about money, success, nothing. He cares about the person that you are. And that's why I respect him and look up to him so much, because I know that he's genuine.
That's a good one. That's a good person to get mentored and trained by, because if they're negative, they could bring you down their negative path. If he's obviously uplifting you and elevating you mentally when you're messing up and and you have your failures, he's there to tell you. Sometimes you don't even catch your own failures. Mm-hmm. Someone else might catch it for you, and he's probably that person to catch it for you when you don't even realize it. And then, you hop back on the right path.
Yeah, he's selfless. He's a selfless person, so he's a good person to have around.
And any MMA fighters you look up to? John Jones, maybe?
No. Nah, I don't even like watching this. I mean, he's good at mixing it up. That's he knows when to wrestle, when to grapple, when to strike, when to elbow, when to move. He's good at that, but I don't really look up to him that much. If I were to look up to an MMA fighter, I try to take away like certain things about them. Where I look up to Connor's like his the way he promotes himself and like that part, and the fighting, the striking, because we're both southpaws. I'll take that away from him, but the party side and everything else, like I don't want that for my life.
Yeah.
So I don't really look up to that part. Khabib, I like how he takes care of his people and like how he's just like a selfless person, and he's just real. I like that part about him. And his ground and pound is fucking sick with it, which I'm trying to develop that for myself. So, like, I want Connor's striking, I want Khabib's grappling, and I want John Jones's fight IQ. But do I want to be like them? No, I want to be myself. I want to be Tony Cortez. I want my own. I want my own shit. I don't want to be under nobody. I want to be greater than him. I want to be greater than all the motherfuckers. And I think I could do it, so.
Definitely.
Off to the races.
Keep putting in work. You're on the right path.
Thank you.
How do you define self-care?
I think the self-care, I think it's being uncomfortable and constantly having to check yourself and realize what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. And then not only that, but taking care of yourself mentally and like physically as well. Like, obviously, you got to shower and do all that stuff. You have to do that. Keep your room nice and clean. It's good for your mind. Keep your car clean. It's good for your mind. It's, sometimes, time gets in the way or you're just distracted. But that, like, helps a lot. Like, they say a cluttered room is a cluttered mind because you have so much shit that you have to do that you're doing all this other stuff, but this stuff's behind you. That's the same thing, like, mentally. Like, your room's all dirty. You have shit left over in your head. So, like, that's, like, the start of it. And then I think just, like, creating, like, spiritual boundaries with your friends and certain people, because people will try to see what they could get away with you. I think that's having self-care. And then, like, really putting yourself first so you could pour. You're not pouring out of an empty cup for other people. So you got to take care of yourself, right? And so that you can be good for other people. But at the same time, you have to find a balance of selflessness and selfishness. So you got to be able to balance those two out to be like water, to be fucking, just go with the flow.
Yes.
In what ways do you ensure that your personal values align with your business practices?
Well, that's why I'm trying to get more into the business world and business aspect of things, because everybody always tells me, all you got to do is focus on fighting. That's it. You be the best fighter you could possibly be. Everything else, we're going to take care of it for you. But I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to learn. I want to be able to handle my whole career myself. I don't want, like, my manager right now, I don't pay him to do things for me. I pay him to teach me how to deal with certain things and do it the right way. So I think that's the way that I want to do it. But right now I'm not too deep into the business aspect of things. So I'm learning, and I like learning, I like fucking creating relationships and getting to know people and seeing how I could talk to certain people and make them feel good, giving them eye contact, make them feel special, make them feel appreciated, and then go forward from there. I think that's the most important part about the whole business thing. First is the person, and then, okay, what can we do now with all this, with our skills? How can we better each other's lives and make it easier?
Yeah, that's big. That's big because not everybody's going to be open to helping, and a lot of times people misjudge or prejudge before getting into the business part of it, and sometimes that could have been like a working relationship or a business partnership, and people put up walls or assume things. I think a good book, if you haven't read, is the 4 Agreements.
I read that book.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about it before I got here. I swear. I was like, because I heard you ask him about books he's read on the podcast. I was watching the podcast, and I was like, I've only read the 4 Agreements.
That's a good one.
That's a good book.
Who's the author?
Robert Greene, is he the author? No, he's not the author. It's like some Spanish guy.
Yeah, but it's don't what is it? Always have your word. Don't what is it? Not jump to conclusions, but don't assume things.
Mhm.
And I can't remember there too.
I don't remember. I read it like a year ago. I just remember like the mirror part. Like if somebody like
Always-
offends you,
Yeah.
it's
Don't take it
because
personal.
don't take it personal because that's how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
That's how they feel inside. So
Yeah, because they're insecure. They take it out on other people, try to knock other people down. I would say
for real.
makes sense.
And what? Hold on.
Coming up on it, we just hit an hour.
Yeah.
That
You have any
flew
questions?
by.
Yeah. Do you have any questions or no?
Got anything?
Yeah. I'll just ask this one last one and then we'll go into. Looking back, which experiences would you say were foundational in molding your character?
My brother passing away before a fight, the drug addiction that I had, growing up fatherless, and not having money growing up was like a thing for me. Well, it kind of turned me like into a bad person where I had to learn from it, and then for being ungrateful, and then realizing that, money isn't everything, and to be grateful for the small things in life, and then the money will come.
I think that's you're young still, but that's something that you deal with from maybe not having it, then going to it. I've dealt with the same thing, and it's like you feel like you're kind of like God, like, oh, I'm making all this money, and you feel like you can do anything. But I think that's just like a maturity issue, Like I said, I went through it too when I was younger, and I had to learn how to work through it. And I was given like a property from my grandma, and for some reason it didn't work out. Like there was like issues with it, and that went on for like 10 years. I had the property, same exact property information, and I think this is just like fate. This is just like God, not giving you something because He knew that at that time, if I would have gotten, say, $300,000-$400,000 back then, I would have blown it in probably 6 months or something, maybe less. Because on what I was doing, I was going out every night, blowing money. I was just being an idiot.
Right.
So it didn't work out for that 10 years until I had experience in the business, and I got the same exact paperwork, took it to the same exact title person, and he's like, yeah, we can do this all day. And I'm like, I handed you this paperwork 10 years ago, and it's exactly the same. He's like, I don't know what changed, but we can do it now.
Wow.
So I think that was like a little sign probably for like my dad or something, like, hey, it wasn't for you at that time because I know what you're going to do with it.
Damn.
And I would have just blown it. And I used that to get this building, another building in Whittier, our house, and other properties with my wife too. She helped me with everything. So I think that was just like, it wasn't meant to be. And if it did happen, if I would have really pushed it, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Damn.
I would have blew that, and I'm sure more.
Timing's crazy, man. Like the timing on that, because like you said, it's almost like when people get like life insurance policies, because we sell life insurance. Like you could sell someone that that $500,000 policy. Let's say their son's on, like drugs, and like they're the beneficiary. They get that $500,000, and what are they gonna do with it? It's scary almost.
That's what happened to my best friend. So before this happened, we were a year apart, 2 years apart. He had a policy for a family member, and he got a good amount of money, and he was doing what I would have did if I had that money, going out every night. He didn't even buy the Range Rover. He put a down payment. It was paying payments. Got a Range Rover. He was trying to be a thug and like going to strip clubs and stuff. And I'm like, bro, this isn't you, man. Like, why are you doing this? And he's just like, oh, you don't know, I'm doing business moves. I'm investing to this business. I'm all, bro, they're going to burn you, dude. Like, I know how those people are. They're going to burn you. He's like, nah, you don't know about them. 6 months later, they burned him. And I think it's crazy, but it was like a visual of me, you know, showing me like, hey, this
Could have been you.
yeah. He got into some shit, went away for 10 years, and then came back. But even when we were younger too, you know, we're showing all these things of like, you know, maybe we didn't have money or parents getting in trouble, all this stuff. And the whole time, even though it was so hard to deal with it, I just thought I can never do this to my kids. If I do have kids, I can never let them see me, you know, locked up and visiting, because I would just go and I would just cry. Like as soon as I seen them behind the glass, I would just fucking break down, and I couldn't really control myself. I'd have to do that for like 15 minutes, and then I would be okay, and then I could talk to them. Because it's like you think like they could never be there. They're my parents, you know. And then you see them there, and it's like shit. Like, this is real. And you get that feeling, and I'm not a bad person at all. And even the people that I built relationships and partnerships with, I would never wish anything that I went through as a child on them. Even though we don't like each other, we don't, you know, whatever. I have enough respect for myself to not wish what I went through.
That's right, bro.
Upon anybody, because like you know, me and you, like it can make you or break you, and not everybody's the same. Not everybody's gonna work through it and make shit happen. You know, it might be too much for somebody, and they don't have a platform like this, or they can't reach out to people, and they just bottle up inside, and they're just depressed.
So I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
How do you guys?
That was the next question. What was one question that I didn't ask you that you want to ask us?
Well, how do you guys view money? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what's your relationship with money?
I think for myself, I feel, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's not that difficult to make it. It's just holding on to it and, you know, flipping it is where you need to think about like the future. Like I invest into properties, buildings like this. I flip properties like LA all around. And I do those things because I'm going to end up making money at the end too when I remodel it and sell it. But also it's like a transformation. And that's transforming the house to be the ugliest to the nicest. And it's kind of like, I feel like it's myself. Like, hey, you know, in high school, things were different. You know, no one looked at me like a professional or even like popular or anything like that. And then now when I see people, they're like, what the hell? What happened to you? And I'm like, well, it just worked out and it just worked. You know, and they're like, you were like 180 pounds and, you know, really skinny. You didn't work out at all. You know, you were, they would say a dork or whatever I was. And then they're like, what happened? And then sometimes it takes, you know, going through things in life and then meeting a good partner. And that was kind of like the thing that kind of kept me straight all the time. Even though I got into a lot of trouble here and there, I would always come back and like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then it came to a point where she got tired of it. She's like, I'm done. We're no longer together. Like, this is your own thing. You do whatever you need to do. And I told her, I'm going to stop drinking completely, and I'm going to show you. And I did eventually. But,
yeah, bro.
But with money, it's just like you can't abuse it. You know, you gotta learn outlets and different things to put your money into, so that it's making money even when you're sleeping. I think like flipping houses for me, it's making money when we're remodeling it, and then I'm, you know, sleeping, and then I'm gonna get a return at the end. Also insurance. I have like a bunch of different policies in case something happens to me to pay off for houses, and then my girl can do whatever she wants. She wants to go on a vacation for a month after I die, and then she could. And everything's gonna get paid for. I have another policy. If I live to 65, so I put in, I think it's $500 a month. It's an insurance policy for $500,000, or no, actually $200,000. It's kind of a smaller one. But if I live past 65, I'll have like $970,000 to use on whatever I want.
Damn.
So that's definitely like a beach house in Cancun or something.
Yeah.
And just have that and then go retire there, you know? And you just have to surround yourself with people that have money or are making money, and are making moves to better their future.
Mm-hmm.
And I would listen to a lot of YouTube, a lot of different podcasts.
I like valuetainment.
Yeah, valuetainment. Our company is PHP that we work with insurance, and Patrick Bet David is the CEO.
Wow.
So he's a really big influence, and that's kind of my take on it. And I'm just trying to influence, like the younger community to look towards the future, not just right now, and to make money for when you want to just not do nothing and retire.
Right.
Work hard now as much as you can for the next 20 years. Maybe you can retire. Maybe Eric can retire at 40 something. We never know.
I think that's for sure my next step in my life.
So the question is, what's money? Like, what does money mean to me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel like it's almost how you make it, too. Like, how you make that money. Did you sell a house to make that money? Did you fight someone to make that money? Like, in MMA, did you rob somebody to make that money? Did you sell drugs to make that money? I feel like that all matters, because if you're making money in a negative way, like, it's almost different. Like, you're getting that money, but it's not compared to how someone earned it. Like, someone like you just, like, if you fought somebody, you made 10 grand or 20 grand, you worked hard for that 20 grand. If you rob somebody and you made 20 grand, what it's not the same. Like, karma, it's not. You don't get the same benefit out of it. Almost, like, money brings it. I won't say it brings happiness, but it brings you things that can make you happy temporarily. If you want that car you want, you buy it, but it's not going to make you happy forever. I feel like I'm almost still trying to find out where money makes me feel like, because there's points where I have a lot of money in my account, and you think it's going to make you happier, and really it does. You feel accomplished that you got that money in your account, but it doesn't make you happy entirely. Like, being happy is a mental thing. It's not a money thing. So I'm still trying to figure out where I feel with money, but I don't feel like that's what's going to make me entirely happy. Of course, I want it for passive income, like we were talking about earlier. I wanted to, be able to take care of all the things I want to do in the future. It's going to take care of vacations I want to do, cars I want to buy, offices I want, like anything I want. But is it what's going to make me entirely happy? I don't think so. And I think the way you earn your money is going to be is going to determine, like, how you feel towards money. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Yep.
And I've never heard anybody say that. Kind of just pieced up in my mind in a way right now, just seeing you guys talk about money, especially Robert talk about money, because, now he's, how many doors do you own, Robert?
40 something.
40 something. Like, it's all passive. Like, he earned that. Like, now he gets that money because he got those houses. He has people living in them, rents to them. And he gets to make that money passively because he earned that. He got to that point where he can do that. Right. Not too many people have that drive to do that, or even think it's real to do that, or think themselves are not powerful to be able to get to that level, Mm-hmm. But yeah, that would be my take on money.
That's what's up.
So where could people find you on Instagram? What's your handle?
My handle is Tony Cortez MMA. TonyCortez MMA, and that's like the only thing I pretty much use is Instagram. And tune into my next fight December 9th on Paramount Plus, Combate Global, Univision, Channel 34. That's pretty much it.
What's the message that you have for younger generation and people going through things right now that you want to put out there from you?
Choose purpose over pleasure. Short-term pleasure is not going to get you anywhere, but really following your purpose and staying away from the distractions is going to give you peace internally. So follow that.
That's a really good one. I haven't heard that one. I like that.
Because at the time when I was doing things, I was still being an idiot up until 24. So just like you wish you would have did it sooner. I do too, because then I probably would have been a little farther. But it's great that you're getting through all this so early, because like I said, I have friends that are like my age and older that are still going through shit.
I struggle with it, with
that's normal though.
Certain things, but I mean, for some reason, for some odd reason, I always get shit done. Like I don't. I feel like God is just guiding me. I feel just blessed to be able to really get the things that I'm supposed to do, get it done. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's God. I don't know what it is, but I give all the glory to God. I don't think it's me. I think I'm just lucky and blessed.
Well, hard work makes you luckier. It's not just luck.
Yeah.
Hard work makes things come to you.
I make luck with preparation and good timing.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Robert Colangeli, realtor, investor, entrepreneur, motivator, trying to get people on here to, share their information, things that they've been through, business ideas, ventures, relationships. And this is your co-host, Aaron. You want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, Tony fucking the Conqueror Cortez, 2-0, soon to be 30-0, 15 by knockout, 15 by submission. We're manifesting that. I'm glad to have you on here, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate it, for real.
All right, let's go.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate you.
Thanks
for coming on here, bro. Thanks for taking your time. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Have a good week. And follow us. Subscribe, like, and follow for more. Appreciate you guys.
Let's go.